In today's video, we'll be going over a company that is involved with the cannabis industry, and that company is Innovative Industrial Properties. We will dive into what they're about, their stock price, past performance, their future potential, and my 2 cents. Let's go! What is up, you guys? Uncle P in the house. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, and I bet you are, I talk about stocks, investing, and that green stuff that we all love, money. Now, a quick rundown of Innovative Industrial Properties and what they do. IIP is the pioneering investment trust for the medical cannabis industry. The company was founded in December of 2016. They are the first publicly traded company to provide real estate capital to the medical use cannabis industry, meaning this company is a REIT. Real Estate Investment Trust. And here we have leading the team with over 35 years experience in the real estate business, Executive Chairman Alan Gold. As of February 8th, 2021, they own 67 properties that were 100% leased to state-licensed medical use cannabis operators, totaling 8 million rentable square feet, with 2.2 million of that being under development or redevelopment. IIPR's main focus is purchasing specialized industrial real estate assets for the regulated cannabis industry. They believe that their sale, leaseback, and other real estate solutions offer an attractive alternative to traditional financing alternatives. Now, what they do is they acquire freestanding medical use facilities in states that permit operations and plan to continue to do so. With the focus on partnering with well-capitalized and experienced operators, IIP's strategy for that is to act as a source of capital to these licensed growers by acquiring and leasing back their real estate locations. Now, this will allow growers to have an opportunity to redeploy the proceeds into their company's core operations, which will also allow them to focus on their resources to reach as many patients as possible who need treatment. Now, before we get into the numbers, I want to share with you a short background story about the cannabis industry. So, the American cannabis industry was very different, let's say, 10 years ago to what it is today, right? Let's start in the year 2000, when cannabis legality was a bit shaky and states in America started putting up dispensaries. With security tight until we fast forward 9 years, the cannabis industry finally took a breather when U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder stopped the raids of cannabis dispensaries. Then, the Obama administration had agreed to loosen the belt on state legal cannabis operations, which started to pump up confidence in the industry. Now, in 2014, the Rohrabacher Farr Amendment was passed in Congress. This amendment improved the protection for the cannabis industry as it enabled the legal cannabis states to make their own cannabis regulations without obstruction. In 2018, under the Trump administration, U.S. Attorney General William Barr stood his ground to not crack down on cannabis businesses. There has been increasing support for both the people and the government. Just a few years back, there were only 13 states in the U.S. with comprehensible medical cannabis program, and now there are over 33 states which have them, and that's pretty incredible. Let's rewind for a second now. In 2012, Colorado and Washington were able to legalize recreational use, followed shortly by Oregon, California, Nevada, and Massachusetts. As of now, 10 states in America have fully legalized recreational cannabis. Throughout the years, the cannabis industry has always had innovative solutions. I'll give you an example. What about the evolving farming technologies? Having these different solutions enable growers to produce higher quality product. Or more recently, we've seen technology merge with the cannabis industry through the use of pre-rolled joints, vapes, and pens. And just to touch on CBD real quick, there was a farm bill passed in 2018 which legalized the domestic hemp industry. This helped the CBD market to be projected at $22 billion by the year 2022. As people's perceptions changed over time, cannabis wasn't looked at as just recreational. It is now being viewed as a supplemental drug and medical substance. So there's clearly been a shift in mindset here, as you guys could see. The Ending Federal Marijuana Prohibition Act of 2019 is a bill that would remove cannabis from the list of controlled substances. Now, this effect would deter the federal government from harassing states that legalize medical and recreational cannabis. To wrap up this brief history lesson, I'd just like to say that I personally believe that nationwide recreational and medical use cannabis in America is not too far ahead. So now that the stage is set and the spliff is burning, back to Innovative Industrial Properties. Ticker symbol IIPR. They currently closed the day at $185.90. Now the stock did get smoked today and is currently down 14%. They didn't meet analyst expectations, and there was some share dilution as well, of 132 million or $1.29 per diluted share. And we won't get into that today. Aside their short-term fall, shares have been up 600% since the beginning of 2018, with a market cap of $4.9 billion and a PE of about 67. Now, IIPR does pay a dividend, and they're currently yielding 2.4%, which is smack in between the market averages and is projected to reach a yield of 3.2% over the next 3 years. The company has been paying dividends for only 4 years, so not much of a track record, but overall, the stock can be pretty volatile at times, as you've seen, but pretty steady over the past year. Now let's look at their past performance. Historically, they've grown by almost 74% annually. Now again, at almost 74% for the past 5 years, and comes in with a whopping 257% growth rate just this past year. Financially, they're looking pretty solid. Their short-term assets of $161 million over their $27 million in liabilities. And same thing with the long term. We have $1.34 billion in assets with $202 million in liabilities. Now, here's an ownership breakdown of IIPR. 75% owned by institutions with 18 million plus shares. The general public owns about 22% with over 5 million shares. Individual insiders own about 2% with just under 500,000 shares. And public companies cover the remaining 1,427 shares. The top shareholders you might be familiar with, BlackRock and the Vanguard Group, coming in with a combined 30% ownership. If that's not saying something about this company, then I don't know what is. Let's talk about valuation and future for this company. According to analysts at Simply Wall Street, Innovative Industrial Properties is considered 58% undervalued and has a fair price of $504.10. And that kind of makes sense to me because as more and more states jump on board with recreational and medical use, the cannabis industry evolution and innovation will ramp up significantly. That perfectly ties into their future growth, which is forecasted to be 42% over the next year. Here you see they should outpace the market and industry averages, with their annual earnings growth again being 42% and their revenue growth of 34%. IIPR's earnings should significantly grow over the next 3+ years, in my opinion. Well, that about covers it, so let me give you my opinion. Unfortunately, we don't have a ton to go off of, as this is still a very young company, but if you couldn't tell by now, I'm bullish on Innovative Industrial Properties and actually started a position in my portfolio. And I'm taking this little dip that's going on right now with them as a buying opportunity, which will allow me to lower my cost basis in the process. I have a long-term outlook for IIPR, so this little blip in the radar doesn't really worry me at all. I'm actually bullish on the entire cannabis industry, but as of now, this is the one stock that I feel comfortable owning out of the bunch. I see a lot of growth potential with IIPR. Their leaseback program is fucking genius. They have nice cash flow, revenue growth, and they pay me a quarterly dividend. Say what? Look, my bottom line with this company is that they're going to thrive for years to come, and I think you may want to consider adding it to your portfolio, especially if you believe that the cannabis industry will grow as well. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just a guy on the tube, so please do your own research. So, are you guys buying this stock? Have any other cannabis plays worth a look maybe? If so, I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave your comments down below. It's only appropriate that I ask for 420 likes on this video. Please subscribe as it helps my channel out in a huge way. Be sure to check out my 0 to 100K portfolio series. Also, down in the description, you can find a link for free $30 when signing up with M1 Finance, which ends on the 28th, so somebody grab it. I appreciate you all. As always, thanks for watching. Stay safe, stock up, and I'll see you in the next video.